From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us on your Friday. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Well, tonight, some confusion and frustration over future shipments of COVID-19 vaccine. Today, Vice President Mike Pence, the Second Lady, and the U.S. Surgeon General received their first doses of COVID vaccine, as more than a dozen states, including Montana, say their next round of shipments are coming up short. Well, governors in more than a dozen states have been told by the federal government to expect fewer doses of Pfizer's coronavirus vaccine next week. Governor Steve Bullock says in Montana that's a 20% reduction. According to the Hill online news organization, Pfizer said today it is not experiencing any production issues or delays, and it has millions more doses, but the federal government has not ordered more. Well, as of today, 3,000 Montana healthcare workers are now vaccinated, but Bullock says the dose reduction is disappointing as the state cases and death toll rise. Bullock says the anticipated allocation of doses for the rest of the year has been reduced from 60,000 to now 48,000. And Pfizer's next shipment to Montana will include 6,825 doses, a drop from more than 10,000 previously anticipated. The second round of vaccines will target healthcare workers at rural hospitals and assisted living facilities. Now, the state is expected to receive more than 18,000 doses of the Moderna vaccine next week. Each of those boxes carries 100 doses and to be shipped again to critical access hospitals across rural Montana. Now, before vaccines start rolling in for the general public, Riverstone health officials want your opinion. The agency is asking members of the community to take a 5-minute online survey about the COVID-19 vaccination process. The goal is to measure community interest and prevent the disease. Well, Riverstone officials say vaccinating a large number of people will take careful planning. The survey is anonymous and is available through Friday, January 15th. That survey is available on the KTVQ website and at the Riverstone Health COVID-19 website. Well, state health authorities report another 5 Montanans have died from COVID-19 related illness. The latest victim reported here in Yellowstone County. As we head into the weekend, the state death toll is now at 895. 275 people remain in the hospital. That number dropped by 31 today. Well, as thousands across the country receive the COVID-19 vaccine, including key members of Congress, Montana's Republican Senator Steve DAINES says he believes frontline workers need the vaccine first. DAINES remains confident the vaccine is safe and effective. A recent study from the Kaiser Family Foundation shows 71% of Americans say they will definitely or probably get the vaccine if deemed safe and free. Now, DAINES already got the vaccine as part of the Pfizer trial earlier this year in Bozeman. But still, he says he would be willing to wait for essential workers to get the shot first.
Well, that's a decision that the healthcare authorities have made. I think we need to make sure we prioritize our frontline healthcare heroes, our senior citizens, those who are most vulnerable. Frankly, we've got many members of Congress who are up there in the years. But if it were my choice, I'd probably wait before getting the vaccine to make sure we took care of our frontline healthcare workers as well as our senior citizens.
Well, Vice President Pence, his wife, and the U.S. Surgeon General received the vaccine on television this morning, an effort to build vaccine confidence. Well, the decision to get vaccinated will soon be up to millions of Americans. MTN's John Riley spoke with one of Montana's top military medical experts to find out why he thinks you should.
Even with the support of top elected leaders, approval from the FDA, and some of the most peer-reviewed data ever regarding the safety and effectiveness of the COVID vaccines, there are unknowns. Even so, thousands of Montana frontline workers like VA ER doctor and National Guard State Surgeon Bronson White are choosing to get vaccinated.
I'm excited to get the vaccine. This is good, sound science that went into the development of it.
White says he's been lucky to have had the opportunity to serve all over the world while also caring for patients.
One of the most important things about my calling, my duties, is I've got to take care and protect the people around me. And by whether I'm wearing a military uniform or medical scrubs.
He's even dealt with small outbreaks of hemorrhagic fevers, like Ebola, while in Africa. When it comes to COVID-19, Right now, just about everywhere in the country is an outbreak area. The disease is prevalent, and White and his colleagues are seeing the worst of it every single day.
I work in the emergency department, so we see it right there in front of our eyes at the early stages, but also the late stages. People will sometimes wait too long to come in and seek treatment.
There has been a lot of misinformation regarding the vaccine. White strongly recommends that people not turn to the internet or even the media for definitive answers, but rather reach out to their own personal care provider, since those providers are trusted with all other aspects of medical care and advice for their patients.
Not everyone can keep up with the latest scientific developments on every new emerging technology. One of our responsibilities in a time like this is to help our patients interpret that information and look at the real science and see what's safe, what's effective, and tailor our recommendations to the different groups.
Reporting in Helena, John Riley, MTN News.
Thanks so much, John. The University of Montana and Montana State University will soon provide and distribute COVID-19 vaccines to Montanans. Now, the state approved both schools earlier this week as vaccine holding and distribution centers. Both universities earned approval after demonstrating that they have access to the sub-zero freezers necessary to store the Pfizer vaccine, as well as redundant electrical power to ensure continuous operation. Neither UM nor MSU has received the vaccines, and the timeline for distribution and delivery is, of course, still being decided. Well, TALEN Energy, part owner and operator of the COLSTRIP power plants in southeastern Montana, says the state's $285 million cleanup plan for coal ash ponds at COLSTRIP is grossly excessive, and the company will challenge that decision. Well, at issue is the fate of these settling ponds that contain 6.7 million cubic yards of toxic coal ash from COLSTRIP's Unit 1 and 2, the oldest power plants that were retired last year. The Montana Department of Environmental Quality decision last month requires TALEN to foot the bill to excavate the 330-acre site and relocate the toxic ash to a new lined impoundment above the water table. Now, COLSTRIP rancher Clint McCrae says a member of the Northern Plains Resource Council tells Q2 that TALEN's decision to fight the state ruling is a blow to adjacent landowners and agriculture and puts hundreds of cleanup jobs at risk. He goes on to say it's time for TALEN to exercise responsible development and clean up the mess that they've caused. Excavation is the only way to ensure clean water for the future of COLSTRIP. Now, in filing its objection with the state, TALEN triggers a dispute process that will push resolution of the issue to the administration of Governor-elect Greg Gianforte. Well, American novelist, billionaire, and philanthropist Mackenzie Scott calls the pandemic a wrecking ball in the lives of Americans already struggling. And she's certainly doing her part to help here in Montana. Yesterday, we told you about the $1 million gift she gave to the Billings YWCA. Well, she also gifted millions of dollars to 3 tribal colleges here in Montana to provide Native and non-Native students access to higher education. Chief Dull-Knife College in Lame Deer will receive $1 million. Blackfeet Community College in Browning and Salish Kootenai College in Pablo are also on that list. In a statement, Scott said, if you are craving a way to use your time, voice, or money to help others at the end of this difficult year, I highly recommend a gift to one of the thousands of organizations doing remarkable work all across the country. Well, in just a short time, the community has answered the call, but there's more to be done before Christmas. Tonight, Q2's Shaquille Cozart checks in to find out how the annual Giving Tree program is helping.
The Giving Tree program is an annual event where the mall partners with local organizations and provides an avenue for customers and mall patrons to aid in the organization's mission.
The local organizations the mall hosted this year are Family Promise of Yellowstone Valley, Pooch's B&B, a Forever Home, and Yellowstone Boys and Girls Ranch. Each of these organizations has their own holiday tree set up in different locations of the mall. Patrons can select an ornament from one of the trees, buy the gift detailed on the ornament, and later turn the gift into the mall office or designated box near the tree.
This is our first year being involved with the Giving Trees at Rimrock Mall. and it has been totally amazing. So our families are really working hard on overcoming, generational poverty and homelessness, and still to have the community come together and work with us to give them that, magic of the holidays has just been incredible.
People have just been wonderful. We put ornaments on the tree with the dogs and their wish list, and they have all been so wonderful in leaving their gifts at the dog biscuit store and getting all kinds of needed items that we can use all year long for the senior dogs. It was such a blessing because it's a lot of expense when you've got so many seniors in need.
The mall gave us a unique opportunity to be able to get some new items infused into the lodges, and for the kids that they have some new games to play and baking mixes and new craft projects and things like that they can do. They can kind of help them with some of that homesickness. They can keep up with some of those traditions and stuff like that, even though they don't get to see mom and dad or grandma and grandpa this holiday season.
And each organization said they are thrilled that the community has supplied special gifts to make sure kids, family, and even senior dogs have a happy holiday. In Billings, I'm Shaquille Cozart with MTN News.
Thanks so much, Shaq. Up next on your Friday night MTN 530 News here on Q2. Gone fishing. Well, if you're lucky enough to hook a fish on one Montana river, you may want to catch and release. We'll explain. And in sports, they may be young, but these Cowboys are already thinking about making noise in March after surpassing expectations in December.
And coming up in weather, check it out. It looks like we're going to see cloudy skies rolling in tonight, and then a little bit warmer and windy on Saturday and Sunday. Look for rain and snow showers possible early next week. We'll have the details coming up in a few minutes.